Well, I think you can tell by the strangeness of the clip that you pretty much know what we're going to be diving into. If you haven't been on my channel up until now, then you might want to buckle up and prepare yourself, because we're visiting an old favorite. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name's McNally, and like an old friend that you haven't seen in a while, we are returning back to My Story Animated.
Oh, okay.
Now, for those of you who probably don't know, but you probably do know because they're everywhere, My Story Animated is an anime channel where they do stories and animate them. Rocket science, I know. Now, I've covered a bunch of these before because the stories they come up with and the videos they make are just so weird that you can't scroll down and see something like, for instance, I faked losing my memory and then a thumbnail of a girl in a pool. Why do those two things connect? I don't know, but do they catch my attention? Yeah. Now, here's a little thing about My Story Animated is that if you want to go watch the video yourself, you're gonna have a little hard time because they change the thumbnails and the titles of the videos about, it seems like, every 4 or 5 hours, depending on the video. If you want to go find this one, it's called I Faked Losing My Memory. Good luck. Hopefully they won't change it, but I can't speak to that, so. But anyway, I've covered a bunch of these, and they just get weirder and weirder, and like I've said in previous videos, that these are actual stories that people have actually sent in because they're just not believable enough. What I think happens is that there's just a room full of writers that come together and they make up stories that they think people will like identify with, but they tend not to. I thought what would make for a great video this week. Before we do though, I do stream every day, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends on my Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/McNallyTV Live, or you can go down below. There's a link to it. I stream around 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on in, hang out, join the live stream. It's really fun. We talk about memes, we watch videos, we play games. It's really great times. And if you like the videos, you'll probably like the stream. So are you ready? Because I'm ready, but are you ready? Because if you're not ready, then I'm not ready, and I don't want to go in this alone. You're good? Okay, let's go.
I think I have loved Jake since we were kids. We were next door neighbors and constant playmates, so I made him play with doll houses with me. He taught me how to play baseball. We rode our bikes and flew kites. We played princess and monsters.
I can already kind of tell how this is going to turn out just by how they're setting it up. Is this going to be one of those like teenage stories about how they're just friends, but he feels something more for her, but she doesn't feel it until a couple months later when they're doing something, then she feels it, but he's moved on with another girl, and then she gets jealous, and then they both like end up hating each other, but then they come back together and they end up getting married? Because if so, then we can just skip this 14-minute video, and that's my video.
We did a lot of crazy things together. Once, when we were 10 years old, Jake dared me to drink some of his dad's brandy.
And doesn't Jake live with his grandparents, so wouldn't that be his grandparents' brandy? Or his grandfather's brandy? Wow.
Tasted awful. I threw up right after and got a terrible headache the next day. Jake teased me a lot about puking, so...
Yeah, that's called a hangover. And if you're in junior high, you'll know them soon enough.
It would be great to marry my best friend. When I would think about it, I always pictured myself at a wedding with me walking down the aisle with my hand on Jake's arm. It was like it was foretold.
I think this is the perfect, like, microcosm of what girls think versus what guys think. Girls are far in advance. Like, they're thinking marriage, kids, house. For us guys, it's pretty much, what will tomorrow bring?
I already met my soulmate when I was just 4 years old. Do you want to meet and marry your soulmate too? Click the like button and subscribe to our channel.
Okay, that's a really big question. Way to tie that in, My Story Animated.
One day, Jake went over to my house and brought a new friend along. "Hey, Sarah," he said, "this is Gilbert." When I looked at Gilbert, my heart totally stopped.
Either Gilbert is a family name, or your parents don't like you very much, because Gilbert that's a hard name to have throughout life.
He was the most handsome boy I had ever seen.
Like the good-looking guy in school is named Gilbert. So I guess My Story Animated is trying to break those high school teen tropes.
It even helped that he looked like a model, too. He was funny and he was a good listener. He always smiled when Jake and I got into our arguments. I have to admit that I developed a little crush on Gilbert.
Imagine that someone sends this story in and the people who are like involved see it and they've changed the names and you come to find out that your name has been changed to Gilbert.
So we went to the beach house of Gilbert's family and stayed overnight. After dinner, Gilbert brought out some drinks. We giggled and laughed a lot, knowing that we weren't old enough to drink yet.
It's hard to imagine that the videos that I've done from My Story Animated are actually meant for children. Like, I don't know how promoting underage drinking really is for kids, but the algorithm.
But we did it anyway. I wasn't used to drinking, and I got drunk really fast. He tried to push my hand away, but I refused, and instead, I did the most aggressive thing I have ever done in my life. I kissed Gilbert.
No. How could you? No one could have ever seen this coming. That's the worst thing you've ever done?
I blushed, stood up, and apologized. Sorry, I think I've had enough to drink. Felt so guilty about doing something like that, especially in front of Jake. When I remembered his face, I remember seeing anger, disbelief, and a little bit of disgust. I knew I loved Jake, but was I in love with him?
I mean, it's not like you slept with both of them. That would have been kind of weird. Also, when are we going to get to the part where she loses her memory?
Should I have kissed him instead? It was a huge mistake to kiss Gilbert, but he was just so handsome. Is this how it felt, loving two different people at the same time?
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's what they call a love triangle. I imagine it. I've never been in one myself personally, but I can imagine that it's not the most easygoing thing you'll ever go through.
During breakfast the next day, Gilbert tried to talk to me. Sarah, about last night, he started to say, but Jake butted in. She doesn't remember, he said.
Wow, Jake, I think that's his name, Jake.
I was bummed to hear that neither of them were coming back home for Christmas or spring break. Jake said that they had a lot of things planned with the boys. I just reminded him to be good and not to kiss random girls. You're the random kisser, he teased me.
What is that face? Since when have they started putting in, like, memes? Is My Story Animated starting to actually get online culture?
That summer almost felt like we were never apart. We spent every day together, just trying to catch up on missed time.
What's in Jake's bag? Like, he's been carrying that bag what seems like for 6 years. What's in it?
Jake asked me to go for a walk. I was feeling kind of excited and nervous. What was he going to say? Was he finally going to let me know that he felt something between us? Were we finally finalizing that we were an item now? So we took a walk in the park. We sat down on a bench, and he held my hand. There's something I want to tell you, Sarah.
Uh-oh, here we go. This could go either way. Let's hope it goes for the content reason and not the lovey-dovey, reason.
Sarah, I'm gay.
There we go. Yep, I called it. I knew it. I mean, we all kind of saw it was coming.
He said that he was in love with Gilbert.
I don't want to say I told you so, but
I needed to prove to myself that I didn't need Jake's love. So I ended up dating Wesley, and he became my boyfriend. Then, one day, I was pregnant. There was no other place to go but home.
Wait, so was the whole point of this video she lost her memory, that's just like a small thing that they just wanted to, like, get you hooked on? Well, that took a weird couple of turns that I didn't expect to happen. I mean, you kind of got the clue that it was going to happen kind of in the middle, but then it took some weird turns again. So what ended up happening is she ends up giving the baby to them and they end up raising it, basically. I don't really understand how this was tiled. I faked losing my memory because that was like a minor portion of these stories, but again, that's how they pull you in. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to catch more, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you can always be notified when I post a new video. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, that's all down below in the description. And I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video.